Welcome. Happy Saturday. My name's Polly. This is the Polynation broadcast on groundzeroplus.com. We're going to celebrate some music today and talk about something that maybe we need a little bit more practice in, and that's called patience. But first we're going to listen to some music. This is Kedem by Kutiman. It's the best accent I can come up with. Hey, you ever notice accents, when people sing, they kind of disappear? Are the people with the accents doing that on purpose? Anyways, here's the Cartesian Joint by Charif Magarbane and Somewhere Soul on the Polynation broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. This is Green by Ben's Friends. It's a Polynation broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. And I found this artist, and he's only got like 10,000 followers, so I know he can't be that old. He's fairly new. Flew in under my radar, and this musician's name is Christopher Edmond. If anybody's ever heard of this guy, well, you should have told us. And if you haven't heard of this guy, well, you're gonna. Because I got 2 triple shots of Christopher Edmond coming up in the show. And I happen to think that I have an eclectic taste in music that a lot of the people in the greenhouse seem to appreciate as well. If you're a long-time listener and you know what kind of music I play here on the Polynation broadcast, then you're going to like this. This guy's, I haven't been this excited about a new artist in a long time. Pretty sure he's from San Diego. I'll give you more details if you're interested. And even if you're not, I'll give you them anyways. Because we're also going to talk a little bit about something called patience. What does that mean? To me, it just kind of means waiting, right? Well, have patience. That's a better way of saying, well, just wait. Right? Is that all it is? I don't know. Ask an unemployed doctor about patience. He has none. Very cranky. I think patience is being erased on purpose. And this, even, like, if you look at song lengths, they're getting shorter and shorter. And this was going on a long time ago. Because I guess people don't have the patience to listen to the whole song. You would even have edits of songs so they could be played on the radio. Because people don't have the patience to listen to a song that's more than 5 minutes. What is that? How can you be waiting and listening to a song at the same time? Anyways, I think patience is it's not just about waiting. It's a skill. And it should be taught, not erased. But we'll get into more of that later. You're just going to have to be patient, I guess, because I got lots of good music to get through here today. And also some news about tomorrow's show, which I think I touched on last week. But I'll give you a hint. I'm just going to slightly change the name of Psychedelic Sunday to Psychodelic Sunday. And no, it's not a dessert. Although it'd be a good name for one. The Psychodelic Sunday. With a banana split on top. That's getting dark. And I'm getting hungry. Here's some more music. Polynation broadcast. My name's Polly. Welcome to the greenhouse over here at groundzeroplus.com. Here's Meant to Be by Jack J and Linda Fox. So, a really good point was actually brought up regarding patience just now over here in the greenhouse at groundzeroplus.com. That's the chat room when you become a member. You click on the members' content, there's a chat room, click on that, you're in the greenhouse. And that's where we're chatting about patience a little bit. And it was said that you have to, it's patience, but to a limit, right? Like, especially, I guess, when you're dealing with people, you gotta have a I guess a red line or like a something. Because if you're just gonna keep waiting for something, then in my mind, that should be not called patience. It's not the same thing. So there's this weird dynamic with just a simple concept of the thing called patience, that it's almost like it's related to how long you have to wait and what is it that you're waiting for. If those things don't balance out, then it's not patience, it's stupidity. Kinda, if you think about it. Like, if you're waiting for something that's never gonna happen, what the fuck are you doing? Maybe you should, I don't know, you could try to do stuff to make it happen, I guess, or maybe pick something else that's more reasonable to happen. or something like that. But if you're just going to wait for the, I mean, I guess, you could get so patient to the point where you'd be considered clinically insane. So that's why I thought that it would be interesting to present the idea that patience is actually a skill. You have to know what to wait for and how long it's worth waiting for it. It's a really valuable skill when it comes to something like prepping. I've mentioned this a few times in the greenhouse. Why would you have a greenhouse? I mean, if you weren't considering prepping, for one. So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer how sometimes I end up talking about prepping. And I can even relate it to music, but I'm not going to do that now. Because we're talking about patience. You need patience for gardening. You need patience for learning. You need patience for growing as a person. You need patience for profit. You need patience for, well, also to be a doctor. You need patience. I know. It's a bad joke, but I'm probably going to say it like 4 or 5 more times until it's so bad it's good. Just be patient. And I got a couple more songs, and okay, so I'm just going to stew on that for a minute. On how patience can be a skill when it comes to prepping. Think about fermentation. You can't just ferment something overnight. You need patience. But if you let it go too long, you end up with vinegar. Or something that you don't want. So, I guess for now, what I'm thinking is patience is kind of like a seesaw of time and worth. And you know what they say, that old cliche, time is money. Well, money is time. So it goes both ways. Just like patience. I guess you could say patience is a familiar stranger. That's the name of this tune by Bison on the Polynation broadcast. Be right back.
Personally, I believe the early Christians were very sophisticated astronomers and had scientific knowledge that's kind of been an overlooked part of the study of early Christianity. I mean, we can talk about Egyptians having astronomical knowledge. We can talk about the megalithic builders of Stonehenge and Avebury as having astronomical knowledge. We can look at the builders of the monumental earthworks in North America and look at examples like Newark. Look at the Mayans. We see this presence of sophisticated astronomical knowledge. Well, there's not much conversation about the early Christians, but I would suspect that they did as well, and it showed up very much so in the building of the Gothic cathedrals. And that kind of that archaeoastronomy was incorporated into the design of the Gothic cathedrals, these magnificent, glorious works of art and science together, which to me is what makes them so profoundly powerful, is this perfect fusion of art and philosophy and symbolism and science, which to me has showed me that what I needed intellectually to appreciate Christianity was that there was this rational basis along with the faith.
Polynation broadcast. I'm Polly. We're live on the air every weekend, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on groundzeroplus.com and TalkStream Live. And if you missed the show, I might post it on YouTube sometimes. But Sunday's show, they're exclusive on Ground Zero Plus. So you're going to have to come here to check those out. And what we've been doing lately is Psychedelic Sundays, where I take music from what I would consider the best genre or epoch of music, if you can put 20 years into an epoch, and pick my favorite tunes, mostly psychedelic. Well, you could argue that, but it won't work in the greenhouse because there's no arguing in the greenhouse. Everyone here is really, really cool, laid back, chill, mostly just here to have a laugh and chill out, not think about anything too serious. Talking about patience. I threw in a little clip there from one of my favorite human beings, Randall Carlson, talking about early Christians' knowledge of astronomy or astrology or both, and how it's reflected in their architecture. And I thought, well, how patient do you have to be to figure out astrology on your own, assuming nobody just showed it to you? How long would that take you to figure it out? And because you've never figured it out, how is it possible that you would know the worth of even trying to figure that out? Some of the astrological patterns last for, I said epoch earlier, but I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of years for some of these cycles to revolve. Like just one cycle. What kind of patience is that? Or at least, how do you, without that patience, how would you just figure that out? It's kind of, I don't know. It's definitely a prepping skill, though. Because there's a lot of times, especially when the world seems to be like getting really chaotic and, people aren't acting like normal human beings because of it, because they're not used to this kind of stress. And their patience has been erased because they're used to getting access to everything instantaneously through their dog collar, or their phone. There's literally people getting hit by buses because they're not looking where they're walking. They're looking at their phone, checking how many likes they got, or just squeezing in one more video. Like, patience is being erased. It's got to be for a reason. You're going to ask me, who's erasing patience? That's that question. Who is they? Who is they? Okay, we all know who they is. I'm not even going to explain it. I'll give it a label. Them. And because I don't have a camera right now, you can't see me, but I'm pointing. And I'm pointing at them. Patience is a virtue. Isn't that a cliche too, I think? But at the same time, it can be a weakness. It's always on this seesaw. I think I need to stew on this a little bit more. Maybe we should throw it in the crock pot of patience. Anybody who's got a crock pot knows what kind of patience is like the patience that you can apply to a crock pot is well paid off. So maybe the skill isn't patience itself, it's how to apply it. Yeah, that's what I gotta think about. How to apply proper patience. Precisely. PPP. So, I was talking about Christopher Edmond. Now we're going to hear a triple shot. And don't worry if you have no patience, because none of these songs are over, well, one of them's over 3 minutes, the rest are under. And I like short songs too. It's not because I don't have patience, it's just because sometimes you make a song until it's done. And sometimes good songs are just short. And that doesn't mean we don't have patience. But I will say this. If you've never heard Christopher Edmond. Yeah. I'm going to say Edmond, not Edmund. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Sorry, Christopher. Look him up. This album just came out 3 days ago. The album's called Music from Clocks. And I don't know what it is that I dig about this dude, but we're going to hear 3 songs now, and probably later on in the show another 3 songs that he does a kind of a collaboration with somebody else, and I'll mention that later. But to me, this is, I guess you would call it experimental music. I just dig it, and I hope you do too. So here he is, and the first song is called Dollar General. And this is the Polynation broadcast on GroundZeroPlus.com.
Please try to catch me, 'cause I'm in a skydive. Maybe steep, angle of decline. Choked on my water, put on your jacket. Feels like walked past Dollar General, saw somebody robbed it. And I watched cartoons and flicked to the news. sit here some alone and waste away you are from loving everyone. You give birth to a mystery, 1,000 minutes long. And now I see it had nothing to do with me. I'm sorry that I'm not trying. I tried to get better while I'm stuck in the mud. Yeah, too real. Outside and I'm staring, I can't stop crying. Get caught in the melody line. Yeah, seal the deal. There's nothing where you were. I see you in the worst way. I forgot your birthday. Fucked up. I'm sorry that I'm not trying. I tried to get better while I'm stuck in the mud. Yeah, too real. Tell this to you. Outside and I'm spinning, I can't stop crying. Get caught in the middle of life. Yeah, seal the deal. Say you will love me well. Halloween started off fine, I was ego. What? I saw things I never knew. We watched you fall, you met God. Pissed motherfucker, calm down. Shaking, sinking, feeling like the door. Mom yelling, knocking, come out. And I started singing, and I used to know. You'll take the call.
That's your first taste of Christopher Emond, or Emond. The cool dude that has an album called Music from Clocks. That guy. But he has another kind of side to him. I mean, he's multifaceted. And I'll share that later. We'll just have to be patient. So many things that are prepper skills actually require that skill, that fundamental, that patience, knowing when to stop and knowing how long to wait. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like maybe a genetic skill. Like part of how we managed to evolve. Like if you think about the first person to realize that, hey, if I just let this apple fall from the tree and rot on the ground and sit there long enough, eventually another tree will grow. Like that takes that would be a lot of patience, but I don't think that's what happened. So the reason I think patience is trying to be erased is because important things, pivotal things, crucial things require patience to actually observe. And that's why they're trying to erase it by using things like TikTok and reels and shorts. It's just swipe on to the next thing, watch it for 30 seconds. Swipe on to the next thing, watch it for 30 seconds. Swipe on to the next thing. Oops, hit by a bus because you were watching where you were going. That's literally happening. It's just not being reported. But I've walked past. This happened in like 2019, where that actually happened. Somebody was looking at their phone instead of looking at the traffic lights that tell you when to cross the street so you don't get hit by a bus. And she got hit by a bus. Oops. Stop looking at your phone. I mean, people don't... It's being erased by your phone. Your patience is being erased by your phone. If you're staring at it while you're walking, for more than 15 seconds, I'll say, because sometimes it could be a crucial message, and, you can look at your phone while you're walking for a couple seconds, but you can't walk around assuming that everybody else is going to see you anymore, because everybody's doing it, because they have no patience. It seems like such, a simple thing. You teach, we teach toddlers better patience than most people have today. It's being erased on purpose. I'm trying to figure out why. Beyond the fact that I guess it makes us easier to control, or I don't know. I don't think people in the greenhouse can be controlled. We just look at it like, what? How do you think this is going to work? I mean, it's almost like the people or the force that's behind the motive of erasing patience doesn't have any patience either. If you look at the tactics that they use, it's all over the place. It's in almost all of the art forms you can imagine. Food, music, art, like visual art, content. Nothing. Well, maybe not nothing, because a lot of things capture my attention. But is patience required for your attention to be captured? I guess would be my next question. I think maybe wisdom and patience are possibly married in some way. Not really sure where I'm going with this, but I'm just going to be patient with it. And I still have some other things to talk about regarding the whole prepping thing, because that's something you can actually do and see the results of your patience in many ways. There are so many things that, I mean, I know a lot of people in the greenhouse know how to prepare stuff for long-term storage when it comes to growing abundance of food. You don't just like, I mean, yeah, you can freeze it, right? But there's other ways to do it. Those are all good prepping skills that also require a lot of patience. So I guess what I'm suggesting is, if you don't have any patience, you probably won't be able to prepare for anything. Ever. So maybe we should be looking at something like patience as more of like an ingrained survival skill. Maybe that's why it's crucial to a lot of prepping practices. And I'm not just talking about gardening or fermenting. The same things can be applied to almost any prepping skill. And I'm definitely going to be talking more about prepping things because it's better to, instead of focus on what could possibly happen, what's going to happen. A lot of people can see what's going to happen. And it's not a great outlook. But focusing on that is not as productive or beneficial or useful as to actually what you can do about it. Because if you know what it's going to be like, then you can set yourself up. Why wouldn't you want to do that if you could? Just takes patience, and it takes a lot of a lot of learning. And I don't know, there's a lot of people in the greenhouse that know a lot about this stuff, and they're going to be coming on the show to talk about it, because I think it's important. And music ties in with survival, in my opinion, because it's kind of hard to survive like without good music, in my opinion. And music is also a good way of storing information and stories. When the power goes out, we still have acoustic guitars and drums and flutes, and we can make stuff off the land like we used to do. I've got a feeling, even though they say we didn't live that long back then, and through medical technology we're living longer, healthier lives, more productive, I'll bet you the people that lived way before us, who only lived to be in, sometimes into their 40s, I guess, at least that's what we're told, they were probably way happier because they had more patience. They had all the time in the world. Anyways, let's get back into some more tunes. Here's Udu by The Contours and Yadava on the Polynation broadcast. It's groundzeroplus.com, live every weekend from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. And later, after the show, there will be a roundtable of sorts on Zoom. And the link can be found here over at groundzeroplus.com, where apparently all the hosts get together at a round table. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like King Arthur. I'm going to check it out to see what's going on over there and make sure everybody's behaving in a noble way. As you do at a round table, there's a nobleness that's involved. When your table is round, you must be noble. If your table is square, you're stupid. If your table is rectangular, it's something probably mischievous. Not noble. The opposite of noble. Hey, what's the opposite of patience? I guess being in a hurry? I don't know. We'll think about that. Come back. It's Polynation Broadcast. Here again, here's Udu by Contours and Yidva on the Polynation Broadcast.
Questa è l'astrologia.
State of Blue by Vincent Jäger. Just like Jägermeister. Just like Jägermeister, that's how it's spelled. I hate that stuff, but apparently it's medicinal. I guess where the patience is required is the hangover. Anyways. Veering off the topic of patience for a second. I often refer to the show as the mycelium of underground sounds. I like to find the newest music possible and, well, filter it, make sure none of it's garbage, and then play it on the show. Well, this next song I just wanted to set up because it's so new. He only has one song, at least on Spotify, that I can find. Anyways, the artist name is Kura, and the song is called Desert is Blind. And I thought it was really cool, and so here it is, in the greenhouse, plant-friendly music, especially for your cactus or cacti. See, I would argue with somebody that you're supposed to say cacti when you're talking about more than one. It's like fish. Just say it the same way. Point at it. If there's more than one there where you're pointing, it means more than one. Duh. Anyways, here's Desert is Blind.
Cactuses drink from my veins. I know I am losing my mind. God knows I tried. At the edge of the wasteland, lizards lick my hand. future of me. As the vultures call out my name, the rattlesnakes try to kill time with no end in sight. Lying under the gold sand, the scorpion's my bed. The desert is blind, and it can't see the future of me.
Yeah, that was Kura. Desert is Blind. And I was just thinking, as I listened to that song, this is probably like maybe only the fourth time I've listened to that song all the way through. And I just thought of this now. That song could be AI. It explains why there's only one song. No albums. No... I mean, he's got like a bio, but it's so long. And it reads like it was written by AI. If that's the kind of music AI is producing, I have no problems with that. But it would be nice to know for sure if it was AI. And I think that's coming. Everything that AI produces, as far as media consumption is concerned, and possibly even marketing and advertising, I think eventually is going to be regulated, where at the, maybe the tiny little fine print in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it says this content was created using solely AI generated characters, and any likeness of these characters to real people will, the whole freaking thing, but they'll put it in there, and you'll need an AI to read it. They'll do that. Just wait. Just you wait. Hey, wait. That sounds like patience. You telling me just you wait? Yeah. What kind of patience is that? See, that's where I think patience is kind of a weakness. When someone says, just you wait, don't fucking wait. Especially if they say, just you wait. That's a ridiculous use of patience. Get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? It's still a blurry word. Patience. It's not blurry when it comes to skills, though. And when it comes to skills, preppers think about skills that most people don't think about. Like, when I first got into sort of prepping, it was like, kind of a natural progression for me because I was always interested in food. And so, like, canning food I was interested in that. Foraging food, I was interested in that. I like to forage and garden. And I just realized that all of these things that I was learning was because, first of all, they're really cool and fun to learn, especially if you like being outside. But they're like essential practical skills that people used to like have to learn. Otherwise you die. And we're just so used to having everything given to us. And if your phone's not working, how are you going to order a pizza? So I have a clip lined up here that I guess kind of aligns with what I'm saying. And I'm going to shout out another YouTube channel, which I don't do very often, but sometimes I need to. Because credit where credit's due. And I've been watching this channel since well before it reached the status that it's at now. And it's the Canadian Prepper. And he managed to get Brett Weinstein on, who I think is kind of one of the more intelligent, practical minds speaking on the internet about many different things that have huge amounts of weight, whether it be political or philosophical or scientific. He's a very smart man. Let's just put it that way. And he was asked a question about prepping. And it's an hour and a half long interview. But closer to the end of it, I think he kind of sums it up. And if you can keep in the back of your mind what we've been talking about in regards to patience and how it can be misused but also exploited. I mean, you can almost use it like a gaslighting tool when you say something like, just you wait. You just wait and see. Yeah, no. I got no patience for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Anyways, here's Brett Weinstein on his perspective on prepping. And then after that, I want to talk about some maybe overlooked skills that, if you have a lot of time on your hands and patience, you can learn these things. And you might not think they're useful now, but they might be useful later. And if you have enough patience and maintain those skills grow in value. Anyways, here's Brett Weinstein. Listen to this.
Say, we all kind of have an instinct for it, right? We know that the processed food isn't any good, that it's wrecking your physiology. We know that gathering with people in person is good, that there's something about those relationships, especially long-term relationships, that's good. We know that family is good. So what I would say is ignore the worst scenarios. You're not likely to beat them, and so they are a waste of effort that could be better spent elsewhere. Invest in communities of people, develop real trust, and prioritize the in-person relationships above the electronically mediated relationships. And then there's kind of two levels of prepping at the physical status. One is, can I engineer a life that sustains me and my family indefinitely into the future? That's a pretty high bar. On the other hand, can I cover a gap where the services that I depend on for life and my family depends on for life vanish, and it takes years to recover, but it's not forever. Well, those scenarios are ones you can think your way through, all the better if you've got a community of people on the ground that has looked each other in the eye and said, I'm actually concerned the lights might go out and never come back, right? I don't know what happens if a CME takes out the grid, that sort of thing. So, and, you'll find high quality people on the other end of that. If you come up with people who are ready for such questions, ready to hammer out the kinds of social structures that make you robust in the face of such things, and it never happens, you're not going to regret having those robust communities of people that trust each other and know what to do in an emergency. You'll benefit from that. Your kids will benefit from it. So anyway, I think more or less pursue the stuff that's good. Know that you're not going to survive the worst case scenarios, nor probably would you want to, right? A world that is sufficiently destroyed, even if you can manage to technically persist, to what end, right? It has to be a world that at least is capable of recovering.
Hi, I'm Joe Delaney. Today we're going to talk about what...
Yeah, Brett Weinstein and his wife do at the Dark Horse podcast. Thanks for reminding me of that, Mike. Over here in the greenhouse, groundzeroplus.com, you're listening to the Polynation broadcast. Patiently listening, I guess you could say. This is Silicone by Seba. Okay. I'm just getting this information right now as we speak. This is breaking news. Breaking news here on the Polynation broadcast. It's breaking right now. This news is happening as we speak. Or it just did. Because as I was speaking, it happened. So this news is breaking now. And the news is this. Things appear to be happening as we speak. This is breaking news. You will only hear this first in the greenhouse on the Polynation broadcast. Breaking news. Things are happening, and they're happening at breakneck speeds. What does that mean? Well, we're just going to have patience to find out. And here's a song called Patience. And by the way, that news was broken. So it's not breaking news anymore. It was broken news. Oh, this just in. I have to apologize that the breaking news that I broke is now broken, and it was not true. Things are not happening, folks. So thank you to my source for updating me on that. The breaking news has not broken, and everything is still broken. So go back to your normal daily things, and here's Patience by Deadmau5 on the Polynation broadcast. GroundZeroPlus.com. Be right back. I'm just messing with you. If you really want to piss somebody off that has no patience, pronounce the word patience like patience. That'll fix everything. Where's Vicky? By Bathysphere. Polynesian Broadcast. GroundZeroPlus.com.
To be mine, and I'll be yours. When this rose is grown, I'll be there to smile and to kiss you, love me more. Only heaven knows what is in store for us in this shameful act we call it love. You had to
It's the Polynesian Broadcast. A little bit of a glitch there. Sorry about that, eh? Yeah, if you're new here, I'm Canadian. Well, mostly. I sound Canadian. sound Canadian on purpose. Because I was raised here, but I was actually born in Scotland. I'm kind of actually glad I don't live there anymore. Because, well, I don't have the patience. So that being said, what I want to do right now is tell you about a little bit more about tomorrow's show, the Psychedelic Sunday. That era of music happens to coincide, whether you want to say it's coincidentally or not, with a lot of like serial killers. Why is that? And I happened to come across this, it was on, I think it was on Joe Rogan. Somebody has written a book on the possible coincidence of lead poisoning with an increase of serial killers. And I was like, what? That's weird and interesting. And so we're going to dive deep into that tomorrow. I'm going to have a guest on the show. She's a listener, a longtime supporter, and a good friend. And has a very unexpected wealth of knowledge on this kind of subject. And so she's coming on the show tomorrow. Tune in, that'll be 2 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And Barban's going to come on the show and talk about... We're going to try to get to the bottom of what the hell is wrong with serial killers. Like, seriously, what the fuck goes on in their head? To me, if you were to explain to me that there's this human that just likes to go out and kill people and be proud of it, I'd say that's not human. You're full of shit. That's not a human. Whoever told you that was a human, nope, they're wrong. Because I don't think, I like to believe, and belief is the enemy of knowing. But I'd like to believe that humans aren't capable of stuff like that. At least real ones. Anyways, we're going to get into that. And it's going to be a fun show. Music will still be from the psychedelic era because it slides in perfectly. We can do, I'll give you a clue. Helter Skelter will be on the playlist by the Beatles. Maybe some Hotel California. You know, you get where I'm going. Long-time listeners get what I'm saying. We're hanging out over here at groundzeroplus.com in the greenhouse. Shooting the shit. Being very patient with each other. Sometimes it takes time. And sometimes you're wasting your time. When do you apply the patience? That's the skill. When do you apply it? That's the real skill of patience. Knowing when to give up. I'm not saying giving up is a good thing. Usually it's not. But in some cases, you can't help the helpless. And so giving up will only help you. I hope that made sense. Anyways, in about 25 minutes, what I'd like to do here on the Polynation broadcast at around 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time is pause the show and shout out the greenhouse over here at groundzeroplus.com. If you're a member, and you don't know about the greenhouse and you're already a member, you should get over here. It's kind of a decompression zone. And it's very friendly and immense amounts of knowledge. And the Polynation broadcast is all about harvesting knowledge, but also planting seeds. So at 4:20, I'll stop the show and shout out the chat room. Whoever is in the greenhouse over here at groundzeroplus.com. But until then, I feel like we should listen to some music, because that we do that here. One of the reasons why my show is music heavy is precisely because of the greenhouse that I just finished shouting out or pointing out and encouraging everybody to come over and hang out. Is because while music is playing, I can interact with you guys in there. And it's, for me, it's like, it's the funnest part of the show. And many times, requests for music and ideas that I didn't think about end up being brought up on the show. It's kind of like an organic, reciprocal broadcast. So the greenhouse kind of makes the show what it is sometimes. I mean, assuming I don't have anything planned. And to me, that's more value than simply just showing up and listening and not hanging out in the greenhouse. But when you put the ideas in there, and the songs that I forgot about in there, for me it makes for a better show. And so yeah, I'll be doing that in about 20 minutes, maybe a little more. 23 minutes, 22 minutes. Excuse me. Here's Rise by Nightmares on Wax. Going a little classical here. Polynation broadcast. If you could consider Nightmares on Wax classical. Here it goes. Rise.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I use a cobra snake for a necktie. I got a brand new house on the roadside, made from rattlesnake hide. I got a brand new chimney up on top, made out of human skull. Now come on and take a little walk with me, honey, and tell me who do you love? Who do you love? Who do you love? Mojo, come to my house, a black cat bone. Take my baby away from home. Mojo, Mojo, where you been? Up at your house and gone again. Tombstone hanging in the graveyard mine. Just 22 and I don't mind dying. I ride around town, use a rattlesnake whip. Take it easy, Arlene, don't give me no lip. Who do you love? Who do you love? The sky was blue. Down the alley a ice wagon flew. Hit a bump and somebody screamed. You should have heard just what I seen. Who do you love? Who do you love?
GroundZeroPlus.com Polynation broadcast. We're live on the air. I'm your host, Paul Sinclair. Be back soon.
I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you, with you, with you, with you, with you, with you. What a wicked game you play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say. You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. And I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love. The world was on fire and no one could save me but you.
That was Wicked Game by Natural Wonder Beauty Concept. What a great fucking cover of that song. Damn. Well, it's that time. You know what time it is. It's 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Stop the show. Shout out the Greenhouse. GroundZeroPlus.com. Become a member. Support the shows. Support the platform. Support the legacy. If you're in now, you're in. You're the OGs. And over here in the Greenhouse today, we have... It's a long weekend, by the way. And so if you're here on your long weekend, like bonus props and thanks for that. Because I can totally get why people would have better things to do on a long weekend. Probably on your way up to the cottage or maybe going camping or whatever. But if you're here in the Greenhouse, you're going to get a shout out right now because I want to say thank you. And in here today we got Chris France from the UK, the architect. And I guess I'll say this. A sensei of sorts. Sensei Chris. I'll explain that one day. But for those of you paying attention, pay attention. Sensei Chris is in the Greenhouse. We've got tomorrow's guest on the show. Barbani's in here. We'll talk to you soon. Lisa's in here. Lisa's also going to be coming on the show. Mike Monson here. He's also going to be coming on the show. I'll explain why. Dez is in here. Eric is in here. Sonny's in here. Good to see you, bud. We got Studman Matthew. And, hey, Amber. Hey, Amber. Amber444 is in here. My Wonder audiophile twin. She likes good tunes. We all like good tunes. That's why we're here. And sometimes listening to the show, depending on the amount of patience you have, I guarantee you, you will hear a song you've not heard before that you love. And you'll want to hear it again. And in that case, you can head on over to YouTube and look for Polynation, but you put the number 1 in front of it, and you'll find I have a YouTube channel. And a lot of the shows, until further notice, get archived there. So you can listen to them whenever you want. Doesn't happen on Ground Zero Plus yet, but don't worry, I'm working on it. Polynation roots, the roots, they're growing, and so is the Ground Zero Plus network. It's growing, and takes time for resources to be harvested, if you know what I'm saying. You gotta have a level of patience. That's what we've been talking about the whole time. Anyways, thanks everybody in the greenhouse for joining me today. And hopefully you'll be back tomorrow, because we're gonna get psycho dark. And we're gonna shine a light on it. It's not gonna be like scary or anything. We're just gonna try to figure it out. It's kind of like a piece of the puzzle, I think. That whole era. So many things happened. So it'll be good to get perspective from, I guess, what we could say is boots on the ground. And I'll be sharing a story. It's not necessarily as significant as, you know, maybe knowing a serial killer, but knowing somebody that killed somebody is weird. At least it is for me. So tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, that is. And also coming up later, in just a bit over than half an hour, in fact, right after the show, there is a Ground Zero hosts roundtable Zoom meeting that's available for members at groundzeroplus.com. Maybe get an insight or an angle into some of these crazy hosts' brains, how they think. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to show up, say hello. I'll be there. You guys already know how my brain works. And most of you probably already figured out there's no shame in not needing to know everything. So we just give up on trying to figure out how I work and go with it, because the music's good, it's plant friendly, and everybody's loved and endeared in the greenhouse. Thanks everybody for listening and showing up in the greenhouse, groundzeroplus.com. I got more music, and I promised to actually when we were talking about Christopher Emond or Emond, that he has different sides. Like he's not just like kind of like a, I guess what you could describe as kind of a depressed Beck almost vibe. He does some collaborations with Alan C. Montgomery, and I'm gonna play 3 of those songs now. because it shows, I guess, versatility. Like, he's not just a one-trick pony, this dude. We're going to be hearing more, I think, from artists like these. And what I would really like to do in the future, going forward, if there's any independent artists that make their own music out there listening to the show and would like to have it played, meaning you're not too ashamed of it, and I get that, trust me, as a fellow musician, audiophile, if something's not perfect that you made, it might be embarrassing to share it. But believe me, that feeling goes away in about 30 seconds. Especially if you play it in the greenhouse. It's not only plant-friendly music, but the plants can make the music friendly too, if you know what I'm saying. Here's 3 songs from a different angle by Christopher Emond on the Polynation broadcast. Thanks everybody in the greenhouse for coming in. And, well, I'll be back in a bit. Check these out. This is groundzeroplus.com. Here's more Christopher Emond.
Discovery since, I don't know, television or something. I gotta tell someone. I should call some. No, don't panic. People always wig out and start shooting when they see something big like it. Wig out. It means crazy, you know, like, No, don't do that. That's the kind of stuff that makes them shoot at you. Hey, Dean! What? Here it is.
Do you ever say, I can't wait? I just can't wait for that. Like, in anticipation. I can't wait. Oh, yeah, I can't wait till that happens. Here's a response for everybody, including myself. And I often say this to myself because I do spend a lot of time talking to myself. Whenever I hear myself say, I can't wait for this, my mother's voice says, well, you're going to have to. And it's not wrong. Some things you have to wait for. Those things require patience. Some things you don't have to wait for. Those things require obliviousness. So I guess what I've learned today about patience is if you don't have it, you're kind of fucked. If you have too much of it, you're screwed. But if you can stay in a balance with it, realize the worth of the time. That's important. Realizing the worth of the time. If you don't realize that, your patience is misplaced. So be careful where you put your patience, I guess. That's the moral of the story in today's show. Careful where you put your patience. Because people will use it against you. Unfortunately. Because they don't have the patience to get what you have on their own. Or their perspective needs to be spoon-fed. Or, like, how much patience does a baby have? It doesn't really have any. It just knows when it's hungry, and when it's hungry, it cries. There is no patience. It hasn't been taught yet. But it's there. It's ingrained in the human genome to be taught by parents. Patience. Think about it. Out of everyone in the human race, who has the most patience? I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's parents. At least the good ones. The good ones have the most patience. And they produce the best patient children and people. It's not something that's meant to be erased. So let's not erase patience. Let's encourage it. Maybe it could be made part of the education system, because they don't have the patience to mark everybody as individuals. They just put them in boxes with check marks. And as long as you can recite whatever, you don't need any patience. You just need your paycheck. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's not. I got some other music. But there was one song. There it is. Yeah, this one. It's from a record called Late Night Blues. It's called Persian Blues by Big Bud. And I'm guessing they smoking something. That's another thing that requires patience. Smoking. Especially when you're trying to quit. Don't forget, a little over 20 minutes for Ground Zero Plus members. The host roundtable Zoom meeting will be happening immediately after the Polynation broadcast. And I'll see you there. Until then, don't care too much. Polynation broadcast, my name's Polly. Signing off, I'll play you out with some good tunes. See you tomorrow for the Psycho Sunday. Till then, stay bright.
Times like these I get depressed and I feel so sad. I think that I'm fucking wrong. If I'm wrong, it's for the best, and I feel so sad, 'cause everyone's fucking wrong. Everyone's fucking wrong. Times like these I get depressed and I feel so sad. I think that I'm fucking wrong. If I'm wrong, it's for the best, and I feel so sad, 'cause everyone's fucking wrong. Everyone's fucking wrong. Everyone's fucking wrong. Yeah, everyone's fucking wrong.
When the diamond shines, when the diamond shines, the key, if it's been written, it's been read. If it's been heard, it's been said.
Now the spell's broken. Seem like the center everywhere. Doing what?